Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. This is Madden 18 on EA Sports. The Texans come into today's matchup wanting to find a way to walk out of the stadium with win number 5 on the season. It's the Colts going up against the Texans. With that, let's welcome in our fine broadcast team. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they coming off their very first loss of the year, suffered a week ago.
Yeah, it will not be a perfect season, but I'm interested to see how they bounce back now that they know that chasing the 1972 Dolphins is out the window.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention. Yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stacked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
They'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
And that's a great opening series defensively. You force what should be a 3-and-out on your opening possession.
And great coverage there on 3rd down to force the incompletion to set up 4th. The Colts send out their punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is taken at about the 14. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller. And some space here. Finding room at the 30. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. 85 yards. And the Texans have taken the early lead. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out-leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals. All right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. This is a nice little stretch he's putting together. Remember, 3 sacks last week.
And now he's off to the races in this game because he thinks, okay, that's the start of something big because he's in a zone. He's locked in. So offensively, you've got to occupy him. Maybe even run the ball at him as opposed to passing it so he can't just pin his ears back and rush the quarterback.
The Colts send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is fielded at the 27. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
Good. All right, here we go. Green.
he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Mills. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. But that was well executed.
Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And the result, a Houston touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he survived.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be taken at the 13. And that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Open now to get back in the end zone on this 4th possession. He will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed a big hit for a loss. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he's brought down after a good gain. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
How about that run? Picks up a 1st down. Note the enthusiasm in my voice. Remember, last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think he's trying to get another one in the fold.
And you talked, watching film, a lot about his form and just hitting the hole, running north and south, as we like to say. And I think he's been doing that a lot recently.
Squaring those shoulders and getting downhill.
Yeah, that play is blown up up, losing yardage back at the 35. Switch it up here and look to throw. Going for the deep ball. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His 10th touchdown of the season, second of the game. And the Texans will extend their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
A drive that time of 6 plays. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3 and out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he'll give it here to his running backs. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. They're usually known as quicker than...
And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
And I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not there for him.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
Here's a play fake as they set up the throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The Colts on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 19. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided, too.
I think you're right, partner. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And getting our first update now from Nashville. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent, the blocking's been terrific, and obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. And now here's a carry heading left. And he's got room. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Now a handoff here to his running back. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half.
Here we go.
Now back to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. The Colts send out their punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 20. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Try and start this drive in the air. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
Hurry up, here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Go, D. Let's go.
He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete.
That's right. Set. Lead. No. Check. Patriot.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to float this one deep right side. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll be taken down deep into Indianapolis territory. So we've come upon halftime here in Houston, and it's the home team, the Texans, leading this one. Okay, so Larry apparently giving us the silent treatment all of a sudden, and we're going to... skip ahead to quarter number 3. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he'll get this out to about the 40. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, at some point, these defenders absolutely have to say, we've just got to make a stand. We've had enough of this.
Given up a lot of points in this game, but looked better on that play. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down.
No. Check. Let's go. Green, 39.
Now a handoff looking right. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
I don't know about you, partner, but I'm rubbing my eyes after that play. Did we just see that runner not get yardage? A big-time play by the defense. It does happen occasionally, even against the best.
And that's caught inside the 30. They give him a gain of 38. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know they're going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from it, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
And he'll be out of bounds all the way down at the 5-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
In motion left, the tight end. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Texans add on. And that rushing touchdown, his fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
No gain on the play there, second down. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it, rest of the game. And that does get in your mind a little bit, and sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get free from tackling.
And the defenders know it too. They sniff that out, don't they?
Everybody wants to swarm the football. You know the rule is first guy hold up the runner, everyone else try and get there and strip the ball free.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says, try something different.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
The Colts send out their punter. He's been terrific so far. That's taken on the 25. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be, but we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
And they'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A big play there. 53 yards. And the Texans continue to pour it on. Elsewhere, NFL scoreboard, 3rd quarter now in Tennessee. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Three quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. On that quick throw, what do you think? Possibly something they saw at the line to go there?
Possibly in the game plan, and you notice they went with an empty backfield. No backs there to help with pass protection, so you have to have a counter to that because you know they're probably going to bring pressure when they see an empty backfield, so you get rid of the ball quickly. Quick drop, ball's out of the quarterback's hands, keeps him from getting hit, and they get a completion. Well, they can put him in a number of different places. In line, H-back, put him in the slot. In this case, they put him out wide. Matchup nightmare. Who are you going to send out to cover him? And he picks up a first down with that catch.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. Another good reception there. The Colts on the march.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
They'll look to throw here, and he's going to go down again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. They'll set up to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And we'll see what he can do on the return. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Houston. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now they'll run it on the toss. Finding some room at midfield. And cuts out right sideline. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And a long run there in the end to top it off. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Back to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Taking it about the 16. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Texans set to come onto the field. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
Detroit, set. Green, 39. Leopard, Detroit. Watch him now, Barney.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Now they'll run it on the toss. Room to run past midfield. And they'll get him to the ground, but he got all the way down to the 30-yard line. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Over. Here we go now. Green, 39. Green, 39. Philly, here we go.
And the tight end goes in motion left. Now they'll run it on the toss. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over, and we'll see what they come up with here on this next play. It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Flush to his right. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. That's healthy, Charles. You play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well at hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, getting the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And barring something unforeseen, this will be the last play of the game.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, landing.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for the Texans, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, it's just their 2nd loss so far to go along with their 7 wins. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Houston.